Welcome back to the pod. I'm Megan and I'm here with Morgan. Hey, Morgan.
Hello.
Hello. And for those listening, if you're not watching, we are in the same clothing because we just recorded the Christmas Day episode. And now here we are already in January. It's like time travel. It's so bizarre.
Maybe this is what they meant by time travel. They just batched together content is whatever time travelers were talking about. Because, like, I'd love to be able, now that this is coming out in January, to be like, oh my gosh, my New Year's was so amazing. And, like, I haven't even hit Christmas yet.
I know. So, you know what? I think we're just going to put the stake in the ground right now and say New Year's is amazing.
New Year's is amazing.
It's already an amazing New Year.
Yeah, so happy it's 2026, you guys.
Yeah. So not only are we doing that, but we're also recording these out of order. So actually, when this comes out, y'all will have already listened to our Word of the Year episode, which we have not recorded yet, mind you, because we have to figure out our words for the year. So there's a little bit of chaos, but that's okay.
This is what happens when we take time off work.
Yep.
So we have to, like, plan ahead. And I mean, Megan and I have been working together for years. And it's been their goal. Everyone's goal is to get me to work ahead. And I'm not great at that. But then you shove a travel plan in there. And I'm like, let's work ahead. Let's do it.
I know. It's great. So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess what that means, too, is we're not like, hey, how are you? What's new? Because we literally just did that. So, you know, we're wishing y'all all an amazing start to your new year.
Yeah.
And today's episode is actually inspired by a listener request. So I'm going to actually read just a snippet of her message to us because it's just so sweet. And there was some personal stuff like in the middle that we didn't feel like needed to be everybody's business. So I will just go with this. She says, hi, Morgan and Megan. I know y'all are busy, but I'll get down to it. I'm wanting to help guide my daughter as she embarks on the journey of being a witch. The problem is I am also very new. Her interest and my subsequent research trying to support her has opened me up to this realm. I have been reading as much as I can and binging your podcasts, so I feel like there's so much conflicting information that I worry I'm going to steer us both wrong. Basically, my question is, what am I missing? How can I support her as she grows in this practice? I love that. And my first response is, you can't do it wrong.
Nope. Yeah, that was the first thing I was going to say, too.
Yeah. Well, start us off. Dig into it.
Yeah, you can't. Even if you're starting out, like, I think it's very good, and you should go through the basics. Like, learn what magic is. And I, just for those that aren't familiar with me, I spell magic MAGICK to differentiate it from, magicians and illusion. So once you understand what magic is, it's the manipulation of energy for a specific intent. Understand that, start out with the basics there. But after that, have fun.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And so as long as, if you're listening to our podcast, you're probably not in any sort of initiatory practice like Wicca.
Yeah.
If you are, that has different parameters, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about a, solo practitioner, eclectic practitioner, that sort of thing. You really can't do it wrong. And I always love to tell people that are new in their journey to follow what their interests are. Like, if you're really into gardening, start there. If you love to cook, start with kitchen magic. Like, if you're drawn to the stars, I'm going to caveat this with just a heads up that it will take you years and years and years, and you will always be learning astrology. It is so complex, but follow that. Like, enjoy it. So really, I would say follow your curiosity. And in the case of your daughter, what is she into? Like, is she into, like, making spell bags because it's wishes? Is she into, like, color magic? That might be kind of fun.
Crystals are the gateway into witchcraft.
They are. They really are. And you can never have too many jars.
No, yeah. That too.
Yeah. I actually wrote out a list. I was like, okay, so like if I was going to create like a little like beginner witches guide, like what direction would I send you in? Mm-hmm. So I was trying to think high level. So I'll just pop through those real quick if that's cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to adjust. I just realized my computer is dying because it wasn't plugged in the whole way. So now we're good to go. There we go.
Yay! We can't have you dying here.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So there's a lot of talk in like witchcraft, particularly in Wicca, but also beyond that, of like the Sabbats, like and like the big seasons of the year. That might be too much. Start with the 4 seasons that we're all familiar with: winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Like, what are the vibes there? How can you dig into that? That also kind of gives you like a focus for 2 to 3 months to kind of work on that space for your magic. Obviously, gemstones, and we can get into that in a minute. Some basic herbs, things like rosemary, cinnamon, stuff that's already in your cabinet.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you're into like the moon phases and all, don't try to do it all at once. Just focus on like what's going on with the new moon and what's going on with the full moon. And by the way, you can find those reports every month on inkgoddesscreations.com. And I write them. So, you know, if you have any questions, let us know. But, you know, basically any topic, like you could get super specific with gemstones and you could just like really dive into that. And if I think anybody listening who's, you know, just starting out, if you try to eat the whole elephant at once, you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get discouraged. You're not going to want to explore more. So I would start in those places. And then if you're looking for books, I have a couple of publishers in mind that we can get into as well that I always recommend to people because like our listener was saying, there is a lot of conflicting information. There is a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah. No, there definitely is. You have to understand too, I would even, if you're brand new to this, there is a difference between Wicca, witchcraft, and paganism. So I highly recommend diving to the bottom of that because that's going to help you clear up a lot of things, because most of the books out there are written, well, actually, I don't know anymore because look, it's been a very long time since I've read a beginner witchcraft book. Yeah. Back in the day, most of the books that were out there were Wicca based. So I don't know if I'm sure people have written just witchcraft books without the Wicca slant. But yeah, there's a difference between Wicca, witchcraft, and paganism. I happen to have an episode on that on my own podcast, Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy. And it's actually something that I've been really trying to educate people about because there's a lot of misconception, especially in the witchcraft community, between Wicca and witchcraft. So, And then as far as you were talking about the Sabbats, so start with, you're probably coming from a Christian background, generally speaking. Most people are coming from a Christian background when they come into witchcraft or come into Wicca, paganism, whatever. There's Christmas. We also have Yule. It's the same thing. And then there's Easter and Ostara. That's also the same thing. So start there.
Samhain and Halloween.
And then like we really like here, like we witches like nature, natural cycles, nature. Like even if you don't like to go out hiking in the woods, like there's probably still going to be a natural element to your witchcraft practice, like herbs or gemstones, something like that. So just know that if a season starts, we probably have a celebration around it. If there's a moon phase, that it's big moon, little moon, no moon, we love celebrating that. The pagans love celebrating.
Yeah. It's true. Well, and the beauty of witchcraft practice is it really is a practice. Like you get better at it, and I don't even want to say better, but you know what I mean? It's like you become more versed in it.
Yes.
As you get deeper into it, and you follow those lines, just like where your interest is. It's interesting. We recently read Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham in my in-person book club.
Oh,
and
cool.
That's like one of the foundational texts. And it was interesting because it comes at witchcraft from a Wiccan perspective, but it's not overtly Wiccan. Like it actually, like he actually says in there, like, you know, this is what Wicca is about. So it's very good if you want to understand more about Wicca. But beyond that, Scott Cunningham is one of those authors that I absolutely am always like, this is great, because he's passed now, but he published like herb books, seasonal books, crystals, like all kinds of stuff. I've got one of his books that's like elemental magic, so it's like all the 4 elements. So that's definitely a good place to start if you want to start digging into some books, is something by Scott Cunningham.
Yeah, Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner was the first book I started with, because it was one of the only books available in like 1997-ish.
Yeah. Because he wrote it even earlier than that.
Yeah, he wrote it in the 80s,
shocked.
I think.
Yeah. So, and it really is charming to read it now, because they have kept it, like the publishers have kept this text in there. He's like, oh, and you can write to, you know, these local bookstores to see if they have these things. So it's very 80s coded in that way, where it's like, write to this place for cauldrons. It's like, we have websites. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also recommend Silver Ravenwolf.
Yes.
If you're starting out. So Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham was the first book that I bought when I was a teenager. When I really wanted to start diving in, it was after I got married. So a few years later, I started out with To Ride a Silver Broomstick.
Ooh, yeah.
But that's a set of 3. So there's To Ride a Silver Broomstick, To Stir a Magic Cauldron, and To Something a Sacred Flame, to something. I don't know the I think that's the 3rd one. And so it basically takes you through like beginner magic, intermediate level, and then advanced. They're, again, Wicca, they're based in Wicca.
Yeah.
But I love Silver Ravenwolf's books. Yeah. She spells things. She also wrote Teen Witch, which
nice.
I gave to my children when they were teenagers, and then it collected dust on their shelves. But that's a really good book too, especially for teenagers.
Yeah. And I would say not every book published by Llewellyn, but Llewellyn is a great place to start.
Yeah.
And actually on my shelf back here, I have my favorite reference book, kablam. It's the complete book of correspondences by Llewellyn. I know you have a copy somewhere as well. You were just looking for it. Yeah. And it literally is just, I'm showing on camera real quick. It's literally just charts of like things and their correspondences. So deities, animals, plants, trees, whatever. So if you're looking for a good just like reference book, I usually recommend that one.
Yeah.
Or come to our website, come to Ink Goddess Creations, and type it in the search bar. And in all likelihood, if it's a common ingredient, correspondent, gemstone, anything like that, it's probably in a blog.
Yeah.
So
another thing that comes to mind too is just because the person that wrote us said that there is a lot of conflicting information. There is, especially if you are also taking into account TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everything. So with the overabundance of information, always, if it resonates with you, then use it. If it doesn't resonate with you, then dismiss it. No witchcraft practice is going to look like anyone else's witchcraft practice.
True.
And you'll discuss, like, practice everything, have fun. You know, do a little candle magic, do a little crystal magic, do a little dream magic, because you don't know what you're going to like until you try it.
Yeah.
You know, and then you might find something that you're like, nope, 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 don't like this at all, or it blows up in your face, or, you know, but that's the only way you learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I would say that that even goes for our podcast here, and I feel like you've said it many times on your podcast, that it's like, if something we say doesn't vibe for you, just keep going. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
No.
For sure.
I'm even a Avalon priestess, like a self-proclaimed Avalon priestess, and I started years ago. I'll finish it 1 year, and I started a 1-year program, really diving into Avalon lore, Avalon magic, stuff like that. And it's very specific. Like the way that I'm supposed to cast a circle, very specific. The way I'm supposed to call the quarters, very specific. So I do it for the lesson, you know, because I'm under a mentorship type program. So I try everything. I stay open-minded. I do it. And, you know, send it to my mentor, and I'm like, okay, I tried this. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I tried this. I love it. Or I tried this. I slightly altered it. And now this is being added to my practice. So even here I am 25 years in, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still open-minded. And there's still things where I'm like, oh, I love that. I'm going to add that to my practice. Or, you know, I'm going to add that to what I say at the end of a spell. Or, you know, 100%. Always be learning too. Like, you're never going to stick to something. I would say, almost say, there's a chance you may not stick to anything the whole entire time you're a witch.
That actually was where I was going to go next, is like, the things that I do and practice these days would have scared the shit out of me 10 years ago, 5 years ago, right? And like, I started off, and if you talk to someone who's been practicing for a long time, in all likelihood, they have shifted a little bit. They may have shifted as much as you and I have. I don't know. They may have just kind of like modified it over the years. So don't be afraid to, like, if you start practicing some way and you don't like it, just chunk it and start something new. It's totally fine. But I went from kind of an eclectic witch approach where, you know, I've got some kitchen magic in there, some divination, all that. And then I really got into and understood that I can do divination very well. So I really dove into that. And then that took me to working with a lot of underworld and dark deities that, like, I had to go through that process and path to get there. I could not start going into meditation and calling in, I don't know, Hecate and Persephone and Lilith, right? Like that, I would not have been ready for that. And I think you've had a similar journey yourself.
Yeah, my journey was, darker deities definitely too. And I wouldn't start out with those. That's just a piece of advice. Like, if you don't understand basic energy or magic or energy manipulation, you might not understand how darker deities like Hecate or the Morrigan work.
Right. That's not to say that they aren't calling to you.
Yes.
And it's and also, like, you can be a witch and never have anything to do with deities.
Yes. That's
so. Yeah. But, you know, I think a good piece of advice here, I'm just like, it's coming in from spirit, is I had this vision of a new witch kind of standing at like an intersection, a crossroads, and not doing anything overtly, like practice wise, but just stand there and let yourself feel the energy. Like, what's the energy of the crossroads? If there's a lot of crows outside, like this time of year, we have so many crows. Like, what's the energy of being in that presence? What's the energy of lighting a candle and just kind of focusing on it for a few minutes with an intention in your mind. Like, these are little bits of experiencing and practicing witchcraft that are not like going all in on a practice or going all in on a deity. It's just tapping into that energy, feeling it, feeling how it feels inside, and trusting that the way you feel inside is safe and it's good. Even if you're like, nope, I get a bad feeling from this, I don't like this, trust that it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even had, like, my journey was, I had a deity present themselves to me in a certain more, quote unquote, more acceptable form. Because she knew at the time, if I try to come out to, like, basically, if I try to contact Morgan, she's not going to know who the hell I am. She's not going to believe me. So she's a shape-shifting deity. So basically for me, it was Morgan Le Fay, who at the time when I started working, she had presented herself to me as the Morrigan. And so I began working with the Morrigan. And it was just, there's just a slight disconnect there, but it was enough of a connection to where I moved through, and she helped me through a lot of stuff. And then it wasn't until like a year or two after that, when Morgan Le Fay as a deity was presented to me, that I was reading, and all the correspondences were very similar, but like that felt at home. And so I went into meditation again, and she was like, oh, thank God. Like, if I would have tried to reach out to you as Morgan Le Fay 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you would have immediately rejected me, because you would have been like, that's a fictional character. They can't be a deity, which is exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
she shapeshifted into a recognizable deity to me. And then it was like, as soon as I had finally made that connection, it was like night and day. I felt completely at home.
Yeah.
And like immediately took down my Morrigan altar, put up a Morgan Le Fay altar, because that's what I like to do. And like, it was just immediate connection from that point forward, and alignment for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And
on the subject of altars, I am at a benefit here. I see my own altars, and I've seen your altars. So, and I can say in all cases, the altars are not over the top. Some of these TikTok girlies, enjoy it. If you want to do like a huge altar and have candles all over it and everything, I am not going to stop you. I am actually probably going to like pin that to my Pinterest and be like, oh, that's so pretty. I love it. But you don't have to. It can be very simple, straightforward. And again, like, some of the books you come across may tell you the different elements that you have to have on your altar. Please understand that book is written through the lens of that author. You don't have to have a certain arrangement of things. Like, I think in Wicca for the solitary practitioner, there's actually like a diagram in it where it's like, you do this and you put this here, and this is east and this is west, and all the things.
yes.
And you can do that. You can absolutely do that, but you don't have to.
No, there's lots of rules in Wicca, which is when I read Wicca for the solitary practitioner, and I was very young at the time, and I was like, there's a lot of rules here. And I closed the book because I was like, well, I don't feel like following those rules, so I must not be Wiccan.
Right.
That's
right.
That's the thought process.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got older that I was like, well, I could still do this, but I don't have to, like, if it doesn't feel right. And that's when I kind of started forging my own path was, oh, that doesn't feel right. And then now, 25 years later, it's what I realize, like, the more I talk to other witches who have been practicing for a while, they're like, oh yeah, I just do what feels right to me. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah, the older I get and the more practiced I become, the more feral I have become. Like, I'm just like, okay, we'll do this. Like, there are times when I'm putting together like a spell jar, or I'm dressing a candle, and I'm just like going with what feels right. And I'll do that. I'll do my little ritual. And I don't do big over the top rituals. It's just not my thing. And then I'll go look up what I used. And I'm like, okay, universe, I see what you did there. Okay, spirit guides, I got you. And yeah, it all works out. So yeah, I think the big overarching theme here is have fun. Follow your curiosity.
And the more that you, like, for me, having started out so many years ago, I was in a small town. I didn't have people to talk to about it. I just had books to read.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And even, you know, into early adulthood for me, the internet was there. It wasn't great.
Right.
You know? So with all of the knowledge out there too, take it, like for me, I found Scott Cunningham's books to be very helpful, you know, just like you did. And then for me, Silver Ravenwolf's books were very helpful. So even to this day, if she puts out a book, or if it's an older book that I've never read before, I'll still read it because I appreciate the way that she presents knowledge. So if you find that in a podcast or YouTube channel or a social media channel, and you trust that person and you resonate with what they're saying, then explore that, you know, all of the knowledge that they're giving you, because it's being presented to you in a way that you can understand it, and that's beautiful. Like that's when the light bulbs click on, and that's when the little witchy sparks inside of you go crazy.
Yeah. And honestly, like, so if you happen to have a metaphysical shop in town, like go and just see what feels right, what book titles hop out at you, since we're talking about books. But Barnes and Noble now has like their new age section and all that. And even here in Texas, that section is pretty large, and they've got all different practices and stuff. So it's like there's green witchcraft, there's witchcraft for political activism, there's witchcraft with the stars, there's beginning stuff, there's advanced stuff. So like if you want to just follow a path that just feels good right now, pick up those books. You know, I'm actually thinking about, there's a whole lot of like really good green witchcraft books out there that I've read parts of, because I'm into the green witchcraft, but like I don't practice a whole lot of it. Sorry, there is a hawk that is flying around outside my window and it is distracting me, so I apologize. Yeah. I keep looking off to the side, y'all. But like there's whole like just series of green witchcraft, of seasonal witchcraft. There's books about, you know, following a goddess year or the seasons of the year. You could even just do something that simple. So, but yeah, it can be overwhelming with just all the resources, all the podcasts, the books, TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram. Yeah. I'm feeling overwhelmed thinking about all the different places. Yeah.
Have you seen the Llewellyn has a series called like the Aquarius Witch, the Scorpio Witch?
Okay.
Yeah, I wandered as if I didn't just drive there. So I drove to Libra and Thorn over the weekend. Yeah. And she had the whole stack of them in there. And so of course I grabbed the Aquarius Witch book, and it was very beginner. So I was flipping through it, and there was pages on like, oh, Aquarius witches would resonate with amethyst and garnet and and you know, here are the properties, and I'm like, okay, well, so this is definitely it was fun because it teaches you about your sign. Yeah. And then things like, you know, birthstones or herbs, or, you know, and so I will have to recommend that, just because I didn't buy it for myself, because it is very much a beginner witch book. Yeah. But I loved the way that the information was presented. So you could even start out with that and that those were Llewellyn. It was a whole series from Llewellyn. Oh, nice. So just start out with like your sun sign, whatever your sign is. And learn, then that way you're diving down into yourself, your astrology a little bit more. But it had spells in there. It had like how to help an Aquarius relax. Like, nice. It was really good information. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, just like flipping through it. Yeah. There's
a book here on my shelf. It's so funny. When I looked down here earlier, it was like poking out. So I'm like, okay, fine. But this is A Witch for Every Season by Rachel Patterson. And this is really cool. It feels good. It's a book that feels good, which is nice. but it is divided into seasons, but then also like your months within it. And what I love about this, so here's summer on the video. Y'all are getting show and tell on the video. And then there's June.
Okay.
But what I love is it kind of talks about the vibe of June. It also hits the big holidays and celebrations, and it includes like cross-cultural, like it has St. John the Baptist Day in here. But then it also has like the traditions and some activities. There's even, I believe in here, like some recipes for like bread around Imbolc. So there's all kinds of things like within this book if you're wanting to do something seasonal. So just finding something that looks good, that feels good when you touch it, that looks good on the back. A lot of the beginner books will actually tell you it's a beginner guide. Yeah. So but I highly recommend this one. I love a seasonal magic thing.
Yeah, so do I. I found a lot of witches are starting to shift to that too. Instead of, doing all 8 Sabbats or setting up, altars for like every month or something, they're starting to switch to taking a step back into seasonal magic. So they just set up an altar like, in pretty fall colors for the fall. And yeah, a lot of the coven members have switched over to doing seasonal magic.
I love that. I love that. It's very cool. All right, that was a lot of information. Is there anything else?
Yeah.
We're like, here's a beginner witch guide.
Yeah. No, I think it's beautiful that the person that wrote in is almost taking this path with their kid.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful. So definitely, do like watch videos together, watch some YouTube videos together, or pick a book that both of you can read, and maybe kind of do your own little book club, just the two of you, like get two copies of the book and read and but do have fun. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like this is out, I guess, the second week in January, so like Valentine's Day is coming up. That's just a fun time to do some self-love magic and maybe try out candle magic, or make like sweet treats together, or give each other like a little chocolate candies to inspire love. Like it's real easy. It's real easy. So yeah. And by the way, we would never roast anybody on our podcast. Especially somebody that's wanting to look for information. So that was within your message, and we love you and thank you for writing in, because you've given us a great topic to talk about today.
Yeah, this one is beautiful. I love this.
I know, me too. It's so good. So yeah. Shall I draw a card? Do you want to draw a card? I'll draw a card. Let's just do that.
Yours are so weird.
They are. I know. I love how weird they are. You're so bizarre. Okay, we're cutting it in the center. Let's just see. Ah!
Oh, Lord.
I feel called out.
Uh-oh.
It's a beautiful day outside. How are you going to waste it indoors? Oh, that card just read me to filth right there. I'm like, okay. You know what? I am not wasting it indoors. I am opening my windows.
Yeah, now I usually open up a door. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm opening... so my dog loves to go in and out. She loves to lay outside on a great day. So we actually have like, I got it online. It's actually like a screen that magnets in the center, so she can bust through it, but it keeps the bugs out. Oh, I have that door open on a nice day. Yeah.
We have our main doors open with the screen doors.
Yeah. I'm sitting outside with my coffee that morning.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't know, I'm always working, so I'm probably working. If it's during the week, it's just how it is.
Yeah, that's what my husband tells me. He's like, you're always in work mode. And I'm like, yes, I am.
It's called small business ownership.
Yeah, but I haven't changed since I was like 15, 16 years old. So,
right.
You knew me back then, dude. I haven't changed much.
It's true. So yeah, if it's during the week, I'm probably working. If I'm indoors on the weekends, it's all the doors and all the windows are open. I might actually clean, because I feel like especially like the first nice day after wintertime is like when I want to just cleanse everything.
Yep. Yeah. Or I'm watching movies. I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching movies or trash TV.
Yeah. Oh,
That's the two other things. Or reading. I do read. I will curl up in a recliner and read.
Yeah. I read as often as I can. So same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel a little called out. Thanks, cards.
Yep.
Anyway, on that note, thank you again, listener who wrote in with this beautiful question and your personal reflections. We both read the email and just really appreciate it. So even though we didn't share all of it on air, we did read it. So in that vibe, you are invited, listener, to please submit your stories, your questions, your topic ideas, whatever, to TwoWitchesTalkingPod, P-O-D, @gmail.com. That's the best place to reach out to us. We don't always see messages on Instagram, but you can always follow us on Instagram. And if you comment publicly, we do see those. And that's at @TwoWitchesTalking. And we have a Patreon of the same name, and you can come join for free. You can watch the videos there. You can also watch the videos on the Inked Goddess Creations YouTube channel under one of the podcasts there. The other podcast is Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy, which you should totally check out for all the witch tips and fun stuff over there. So yeah. Yay! All right. Thanks so much again for listening, for being an amazing audience member, amazing member of our community. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.